Welcome to Uncorked, a cult wines podcast. This is a podcast where we take you, the listener or viewer, behind the scenes in the fine wine market. As always, I'm joined, well, actually not by always, because if you were watching last episode, he was absent. Welcome back, actually, to my co-host, Jay Stevenson.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What's it like to be back?
It's good. It's good. Bit of time off. Cleared the head. Ready to pod.
And you clearly forgot what colour the sofa was.
I've come as the sofa today. So
good.
Blending in.
Exactly what we wanted, exactly what producer Alexa wanted from us. But look, this is a really exciting podcast because up until now, as you'll know, Jonathan and I have had various Cult Wines members of the team join us and talk about their roles and what they do. But this week we have Han Lian joining us. Thank you so much for being here and being
Welcome.
on the podcast.
Hello, guys. It's a little bit surprise for me, actually. I met you guys last week and things escalated really quickly. Now here I am on your couch.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you here. So Han's background, she is someone that's at the epicenter of wine culture, a wine influencer, storyteller and global ambassador for all things exciting and enjoyable when it comes to wine. And you've got quite an interesting background, covering China, Australia, France, and now London. So you're very much a global citizen, shall we say, and someone that's spent a lot of time traveling and having a lot of experiences. So we look forward to hearing a little bit around that. But as you always know, the episode in this podcast is around kind of unlocking the key trends, understanding the market. And I think today's podcast for us, we're really excited to have someone on the show who can, hopefully really, let us know a little bit more around what it's like to be on the consumer side of the question. And, this podcast for us has been a lot around, how to get into wine, how to get into fine wine, is fine wine intimidating, how to build up that experience and that knowledge. And, I don't like this term because it comes up a lot, like demystifying wine, right? You hear it a lot, but, in a way, I think that is kind of one of our jobs to try and do, make wine a bit more accessible, a bit more accessible, easy to understand.
No, I think, really excited to have you. I think it's nice for us now to at least try and connect the dots a little bit. Like Tom said, I think we've had a good few episodes now where we've kind of gone from behind the curtain, but thank you so much for joining us. Where should we kick off? Should we start with a couple of questions maybe? Your wine origin story, Han. So as Tom said, you've lived across the world, and I guess starting first and foremost, do you remember the moment when wine shifted from being a drink to something that was more personal to you?
Yeah, sure. First, I want to thank you guys for having me here. Really, it actually gave me an opportunity to look back. What have I done in the past 10 years? Looking up photos to try to remember. I don't have great memories about it. So it's quite a nice introspective few days for me to look back. When it comes to wine, I think it started from my time in Australia. I don't know if any of you have been there.
I actually haven't, no.
Yeah.
I actually haven't been to Australia either.
No.
I'm very fortunate to have tasted a lot of great Australian wine, but I've yet to travel there.
Oh, you need to go there. I think people there, they genuinely love eating and drinking. They talk a lot about these kind of things, love going to the restaurant, and weekend involves going to the wineries a lot. So lived in Australia, it was quite a lifestyle thing to love wine.
Whereabouts in Australia did you live?
I went to uni on the Gold Coast. I lived in Brisbane.
Yeah.
I also lived at the northern tip,
right.
the outback Darwin, and I lived in Melbourne.
Okay.
So
So Melbourne, obviously in the heart of the kind of big wine country area.
Exactly.
Was it when you were living in Melbourne that really kind of got you into the wine? Because it's quite close in terms of going to like the vineyards and the region around there.
Yes. So weekends I can go to many different regions.
Yeah.
Regions, but like literally, like I live in the center of Melbourne. Either direction you drive out, there's something.
Yeah.
And I live in.
You trip over yourself and you end up in a vineyard drinking wine.
Pretty much.
Which for the Australian viewers out there, is a good excuse for you guys to drink more. So
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I was fortunate enough to live in a city. I have a really amazing wine shop next to me. They offer WSET course.
Did you choose your house by how close it was to the wine shop, or was it just coincidental?
That's what I did when I moved to London.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So I guess being Australian, it's just such a natural thing to drink wine. But when it's the turning point was when I went to Burgundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my ex-husband, he's from Burgundy.
Right.
I didn't have a thing for Burgundy until that trip, the first time to see his family there.
Yeah. But when you were living in Australia still?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I was living in Melbourne.
Right.
Whereabouts in Burgundy did you visit? Which area?
He lives in a village.
Yeah.
No one knows. I wouldn't think no one would really know that village.
That area,
They're
yeah.
just,
But close to Beaune or more the Côte de Nuit, or
close
was
to
it more
Meursault and
Meursault?
Beaune.
Okay,
They are
fine,
all
right.
very close.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
many
That sort of area.
good, wineries nearby. And his father, like all the amazing Frenchman, he has a cellar.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's the first time I discovered wine. I would say I never had a thing for Burgundy until I had my first taste. So it's really the wine itself is somehow aligned with me. I had the chemistry with the wine. He opened my heart, opened my soul. I got quite addicted. I remember the moment. It's like, oh, I couldn't believe there was something could taste like this.
Wow, yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Would you say, like, before you went to Burgundy, like, what type of wines were you drinking? Like, what was the jump up in terms of, like, were you spending a lot of money in Australia, or just casually going to the wine shop and picking up a bottle for, I don't know, what sort of price point? Or
I think we always will have parties. I would shop for wine. At that time, I was probably drinking more red wine.
Yeah.
Because I think within the same price range, you can get a better red than white.
Right.
For me, if I want to have a good bottle of white wine, I need to spend more money, for sure.
Yeah.
Harder to come by.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. And when you went to Burgundy, was it a white wine or a red wine or both?
White Burgundy.
It was a white Burgundy, yeah. Do you remember what it was? Producer, village, anything like that? No.
I don't remember. It was just his father's cellar.
Yeah.
I went in and I drank.
You just got to choose which one?
A lot of them.
Yeah.
But I think it's just that's the magic about Burgundy wines.
Yeah.
The chances of you come across some amazing wine, it's quite high.
Yeah. I think it's quite an interesting, because we often talk about the journey of a wine collector and how, you know, when you get into wine, obviously you do tend to start, particularly with the reds, you start with more structure, you start with the bigger reds, and then actually the end of the journey ends up at Burgundy. And that's when you have your moment of thinking, wow, this is really it.
Yeah.
To go straight from kind of the more, you know, muscular Australians and like the oak shards there.
Yeah.
Straight
it's a
into
completely
Burgundy.
different style. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to think, was it as much this kind of the change of style as it was how good the wines were, or you just think it was just they were just so much better than what you'd encountered?
I think Burgundy, they're just genuinely amazing.
Yeah.
So good. To me, it was impossible to not fall in love with it. But then again, I think each to their own. I had chemistry with the wine. I think everyone we meant to have chemistry with different wine. Yeah. Because of course, like Bordeaux, they're also very good.
Yeah.
I think throughout the years, I've given many opportunities to try many different Bordeaux wine. Just never worked for me.
Look, I mean, it's not uncommon, and I think, you know, obviously it's something that I've experienced from a young age. The first place that I visited when I was a child, my dad was Burgundy, and that's what got me into wine. My dad loved Burgundy, so from the age of like 10, 11, I did trips to Burgundy, and the first wine I ever tasted was Meursault Blanc by Comte de Vogüé, which will kind of set the bar so high. Everything's kind of been downhill since then.
Age?
11, which was quite young. But to your point, you know, forgetting about that kind of anecdote, you know, I do, you know, it's very common. Jonathan, you've seen this as well, especially in your experience in New York. This kind of journey that wine lovers go on, where you might start at, you know, in your instance, or Australian wine, because obviously that was the location environment you're in. But there is this gravitation over time that does almost inevitably end up in Burgundy. And I don't know what it is about that wine journey where people just end up seemingly falling in love with, you know, white Burgundy and the great Grand Crus from Burgundy, and suddenly that becomes like their life's passion and goal. And, you know, in a bad way or in a good way, I'm not sure, but you know, some of the biggest collectors that I know globally, you know, they almost entirely drink Burgundy. Almost like 90% of what they drink is Burgundy, and what they collect is Burgundy. I'm sure, you know, you you've seen people on Instagram or have friends that are similar. There are people just get that bug, and it's just like that.
I think there's some elements of
the
it's quite a natural thing, obviously, with Pinot as well, and obviously Chardonnay, whereby they're certainly when produced in Burgundy, they're naturally that much easier to drink. You're more likely to probably enjoy them without food necessarily.
Because they're lighter bodied,
lighter
grapes. Yeah.
I think a big thing as well, going back to New York and the US distribution, which we sort of talked about on a previous pod, is I was interested to know when you then went back to Melbourne, were you then like sort of chasing the dragon, so to speak? And like, it's kind of
how did your relationship,
the access over there, I can't imagine is good. That might just be my naivety.
How did your relationship with wine change after that trip?
I think after that, well, to start with, I'm quite a nerd. I became really curious about the wine. I wanted to understand why it's had a drug effect on me, basically. So I already mentioned I was very lucky to live in a city next to me. There's a wine shop. They offer WSET course. So that is the most, for those who don't know, that's the most recognized body to give certifications on wines, spirit, and sake, of course, you know. So I did WSET too. Just want to.
Was that the first thing you did when you got back?
Yes, first thing.
Like
straight away.
I've had this experience. I've had this experience in Burgundy. It's created this, as you said, synergy chemistry with you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I need to know more.
Yeah.
I need to understand. Is that what, it was that a feeling of I need to understand why I've got this feeling?
Yeah, exactly. And also that time was obviously pre-COVID.
Yeah.
It was nice that everything was actually in person, because by the time I moved to London, I wanted to do WSET 3. Many courses, I think they have become online. So that was not the same. Anyways, back to doing the WSET 2. I learned many great things. And as a way to assess wine, and I went to many tasting events just to try to learn more. But also after that, I kind of realized that, yes, I love wine, but I'm not so obsessed with the
technicalities.
I like the
theory.
I like some of the theory, the tasting notes.
Tasting notes, yeah.
The way you assess the wine, because like
the WSET approach.
Yeah, systematic approach, the way to assess the wine, because it's
what's it called, the grid or something like that, isn't it? Where you go through each stage. I can't remember what they call it.
Systematic.
Yeah, the systematic, where you go through like kind of aromas, appearance,
clarity,
taste,
nose, palate, and their acidity level, the body. I think it's just like I find it difficult to have a normal conversation with people,
like normal people.
Exactly, exactly. When we talk about medium low acidity, what kind of body, and all these different fruits, like make you sound like a snob, I would say, and it's less relatable. But I think at the time I was more interested in the wine making technique.
Right.
I would be curious to say, okay, if this wine tastes like this, is it because you went through malolactic?
But then that's more technical for me. Like, if I had just a normal person, I think it's easier to articulate or convey. No, like just this is how I think about it. I think it's easier to articulate or convey like the acidity levels in two different grape varietals, and why that may or may not be the reason they like the wine. You know, because I think acidity does play a big part as to why someone likes wine, for example. But then I think trying to explain how malolactic fermentation may or may not have changed the style of this wine versus a different wine, and that's the reason they like it. I would find that harder. I would find that harder to articulate.
Good point. Many people, they were annoyed me. I said no. But then there she goes again.
Diving into fermentation. I mean, I think it's interesting because even in just that brief few questions where you've just like obviously explained almost in expression how much you love Burgundy, but then almost probably I'm thinking then you got back and trying to work through the systematic way of then explaining the Burgundy, and actually it was just a case of it just took over and it was magical, and you don't necessarily need to get too wound up in the sort of breakdown of why that was. Do you feel like that has been useful? I mean, I went on a similar journey, obviously a long time ago when I first did WSET, like when I first started working, and I had a lot of experience with wine. But I think for me, what I found useful about it is it did give you
a foundation of understanding like the structure
Yes, exactly.
of wine.
Yeah.
As you said, maybe it's not the right thing to talk about in certain in scenarios, but even to this day, it's almost a subconscious thing for me that when I taste the wine, I'm always thinking, you know, as you said, acidity, high, low, medium, tannins, body.
Actually,
I think that in my head. I don't necessarily express it out loud, but that's
Yeah.
kind of like what I am thinking every time I taste the wine, because it's kind of ingrained in you after a while.
It's a good start point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I probably I'm a bit biased. Just I was talking about what I was interested in, because I was more interested in like, okay, if this wine tastes like this, and why does it taste like this? Was it because you did a whole bunch of pressing?
Yeah.
Or you
And then was
more the curiosity of why do I get the high acidity, or why do I get the
exactly.
why does it
Why
work?
do you have
Was it
this
also a
vanilla
case where
brioche?
then you're wanting to find out where else that's available, so you can then go, oh well, if I like that wine, then I know they're employing similar techniques, and therefore I'm probably going to like this wine when I'm trying to find new wines.
What was it like for you? Yeah,
I think there are just many different ways to go down how people get obsessed with wine. So for me, I just become more interested in the winemaking technique, and when I go to wineries, I like to talk to the winemakers about, what have you done to this wine? Why does it taste like this? What if you change this? How will this result in the taste of the wine?
And depending on whether you like it or not, it's what have you done to this wine? Or if you like it, what have you done to this wine?
Yeah, exactly.
The same question, just asked very differently. No, I think that, I mean, we were obviously talking beforehand, and that was something that I wanted to like lead into, which is how you really enjoy the people and the story at the estates. And I think for me, that is always the one thing that I think is something that maybe not enough people would ever experience necessarily, even if you're just like you're getting into wine and you go to taste wines and you start getting familiar with the owner at the wine store. It's like actually going to the estate and going to get the story and tasting a few different wines, in premise, and like getting the full effect of what that is. I think that is really when, for me, you get the real excitement around a particular estate, or especially in Bordeaux, when we've obviously been a lot more than other regions. It's like how different that can be, just a stone's throw apart, is fascinating, and like how it then comes through in the wine.
It's kind of like, I suppose what you're saying is like, how important is the environment in which you enjoy wine, or the context you enjoy wine? Like, how much is that part of the culture of wine? A bit like that, what's that, that saying that's, if a tree falls in the wood and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound?
Yeah.
If you drink wine on your own, are you just an alcoholic?
I think wine is more like an agent of all sorts of experiences. It connects you to people, to old memories, to new experiences, culture, history. To me, it's an agent, and also gives me motivation to go to more places. I love traveling.
Yeah.
But if you just travel for the purpose of seeing the landmarks, to me that's not so exciting.
Are vineyards not landmarks though?
Not too many.
I think
people.
Domaine de Romilly-Conti is a World Heritage Site, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
But whilst producing, a very, very enjoyable good.
I heard on the grapevine that a Chinese billionaire a few years ago tried to buy Domaine de Romilly-Conti, and the French government
I'm sure they have.
a French government stepped in and said, no, it has to stay in French hands.
I think
because
they
see
thing.
it as like a national, treasure, effectively. They're like, it has to stay. It has to always stay in French hands.
Yeah.
It's basically what they said to them.
I guess given how well traveled you are, have you found that, going back to that point, in terms of when you go, so you when you look at new places to go, you're kind of wine focused first? Is that your within reason?
I think yes. So that wouldn't be the only thing I do, but I think this year I went to Moldova. I made it a day or two about wine, and Bulgaria I did something as well. And next year I'm going to Tunisia.
Wow,
it's
amazing.
a bit under the radar, right?
Yeah, I like it. Really eclectic.
Yeah, so I kind of just like there will be, or it's the other way around. There are countries that I have not been.
Yeah,
I would.
You don't go there because they have no wine. So Do you make wine? No,
Landmarks.
not
Loads
going.
of landmarks, no wine.
You would be surprised. I think all the places I've been to, I have had wine in
Yeah.
Mexico.
Exactly, that's what I mean. You don't go to the ones that don't have it. Greenland.
No, but Mexico, I had wine there.
Yeah,
How
no,
was it?
yeah. Good.
It was Mexican white. That's all the information that giving to me. So, okay,
Whereabouts in Mexico was it?
I was in Tulum.
Right, okay.
Yeah, in
Is
the
Tulum known for winemaking?
no.
I was going to say.
I was
I've been
in,
to Tulum and I don't remember there being any vineyards.
No.
no, I was in Tulum for some hippie stuff. But of course, I go to make the trip fun. I would always like, oh, why not? Gonna
Yeah, of
look
course,
for something.
yeah. Was it a long way from Tulum?
Huh?
It must be. How far was it from Tulum?
Tulum.
How far was it to the vineyard? It was actually.
Oh no, sorry. I was just like going to the restaurant to ask for local
okay,
wine.
fine. Yeah,
I
didn't
didn't go to the
didn't go to the vineyard. Yeah, you just tried the Mexican wine. Got it.
I mean, there are always wine. Tanzania as well. Lebanon, of course, they've been making wine for 7,000 years.
Okay, well let's make this a bit more fun. What's your number one favorite wine region you visited? Number one favorite,
Apart from Burgundy.
yeah. Yeah. Any memorable standouts? You'd go back any day, week, if you had the opportunity.
Well, near Melbourne, there are many options.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So that'd be your hot recommendation to anyone. Like, if you had to go to one wine region, you have to go to.
Quick flight.
depends
People
on
might be listening on Australia.
That's true.
depends on what they are into. Because some, if you're purely
But for
going
for you personally,
for me,
yeah.
I like somewhere scenic. I will probably go to New Zealand. Go back
Yeah?
to New Zealand. Yes,
Whereabouts? South Island or
south.
Yeah. which region?
all-
Central Otago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. If you are just depends on if you just want to have great wine or you want scenery.
It's your choice.
Yeah,
What would you want? Great wine or great scenery?
I want both.
Okay, so that's why you've chosen
New
Central
Zealand.
Otago.
Yeah.
I will choose.
What
yeah.
about
Okay.
off the back of that? Which country have you been to where the wine surprised you the most, apart from
good
Mexico?
one. Good one.
Georgia?
Georgia, nice, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I learned some interesting things
Very
there.
a lot of historical vineyards.
Yes, yeah, they've been
Wine's
making
been growing there for hundreds of years,
yeah, the birthplace
Oh,
of wine.
thousands of years.
Yeah, 8,000 years. The birthplace of wine, amber wine, orange wine, and actually they make me think like we shouldn't call it orange wine. We should call it amber wine because all the wines, like if it's plum wine, it's made from plum, and if it's apple wine, it's made from apple, and orange wine is made not from orange. We should call
Yeah.
it amber wine.
Yeah.
There is
There you go.
actually orange wine, isn't there? So they probably feel quite hard done to, don't they? Just had
What you can
their name pinched.
But then it's just called orange wine everywhere. I have not seen anywhere called amber wine.
right.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, that's another point. Point being, like,
In
I find
Georgia, do they have that really like they have the massive wine
They-
cellar underground one?
Yeah.
Is that in
And
Georgia as well?
yeah.
Did you go there?
But they
Yeah.
they have
I
like the
didn't
really
go to that one,
old
but I went to the massive underground one in in Moldova.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
Moldova?
aged night glass barrels as well or something.
It's got
Like
like,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the exact specification is.
But it's like so those places. I would say I loved it. Is because it's so it's part of their daily life. It's part of the culture and almost part of their identity. They're so proud of it. I've never seen a place like this. I feel they have more
I don't think
wine
I've been
shops.
to any wine region that the people aren't proud of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's quite.
some if you want.
Mm.
We've only spent all year making it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not really into
Don't
it.
bother.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think there's a lot of pride when you go to most
But I think
regional wine growing areas.
But I feel it's the day-to-day people. It's so
Almost to the
in
point
their
where they
life.
ignore that wine's made anywhere else in the world, and I'm like, open your eyes, guys.
But I do
There is
think-
wine outside of place X.
I think it's interesting going. We had a colleague Paul on, and I think it was interesting going back to what he was saying, where actually
About the
because
Loire
of the
Valley.
the Loire Valley, where it's like the more because it's so much
Industrialised.
more mass produced.
Yeah.
There probably is a bit less of that passion. I think
Sorry,
when you go,
where?
that's in the.
He was saying in Loire,
Loire
Valley, just
Valley.
like there's an
Uh-huh.
element of like industrialization of wine, just because they're mass.
his
produced.
family business
Not all
was
parts
wine,
of the Loire
but
Valley,
they
but some
produced
of
like
it.
mass,
Mhm.
thousands and thousands of cases, and when it becomes more like that, I guess you lose that
Mm.
the sort of the closeness to the product and obviously the passion. I think.
What's your favourite wine region you've been to? Because I've answered that before. So, most memorable place, memorable visit.
For me, it has to be Bordeaux. But I think the most surprising place I've been of late was going to Corsica.
Yeah.
Just because it's a tiny island, and I'd never really thought to go there for wine. But we went to about 4 or 5 different wineries, and it was just incredibly good.
Yeah, and a great place to visit.
Great place to visit. Yeah, really, really cool place to go. Not far away either. But yeah, I just the dexterity to their, they've got the AOC, they've got like 5 or 6 different like proper regions and different grape varietals. So yeah, I'd recommend that. But yeah, Bordeaux's always got a place in the heart. Obviously, we've been there a number of times, but yeah, just between the left and right bank, and obviously as having been there over time as well, obviously able to taste at slightly better estates and get better access to the ones that we preferred. So yeah, Bordeaux, I often think Bordeaux is maybe underappreciated for what it actually is, because it is this kind of...
It's so polished though.
Yeah.
I think when people go to Bordeaux, it's just like, it's so well set up. And like, it's the complete opposite to Burgundy in terms of like, for visitors, for œnotourisme, like you turn up and it's just well structured. Yeah. All of the chateau incredible.
But they're very welcoming, aren't they?
They've got amazing tasting
all you have to really
cellars.
do is ask, and you're going to get pretty close to quite a few of the, really decent wineries.
Yeah, they're just very well set up for it.
Yeah.
I mean, Napa's a little bit like that as well, I think. So moving on from wine travel, would you classify yourself as a wine investor or wine collector? Or do you even classify yourself?
I wouldn't be a very successful investor.
But like, do you buy wine sometimes with a motivation that it is purely for financial, or are you always looking to buy things which are maybe a combination of both?
I have a cellar manager, so every time I get many recommendations all the time. I will always emphasize I'm looking for investment. Don't if it's not good for investment, you don't need to send it to me. But at the end, I feel my criteria changes every now and then. Sometimes I buy Bordeaux because I know I will unlikely drink them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes I buy Burgundy or Champagne because I think, if I don't sell them, I'm gonna drink them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I buy Napa Valley maybe because I'm probably dating someone from there. I feel with this kind of
feel
shifting,
obligated.
feel this kind of shifting
You
criteria.
need your
You
portfolio
don't need
to have to represent your. Yeah.
Yeah, so that really doesn't make me a good investor.
Yeah.
But then I feel with wine, it's really difficult to see it as an asset because I traded other stuff before, stock and cryptocurrency. It's easy to just I just.
When did you get into like trading stocks and shares and cryptocurrency? Have you always done that?
Like everybody else during COVID.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got really addicted when I moved from Melbourne to London. Actually, I left my job. So when I just got here, I thought about just become a full-time trader. So I did that full-time for 6 months. A lot of charting, a lot of obsession.
Yeah.
It was exhausting, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
So, but I
you
guess,
know when you buy like a meme coin, like the Doji coin, do you need to do all the charting for that? Or do you just buy it and it just goes up and then you get out?
I think
the easy way.
The Trump coin, get that one in.
Yeah, so that's the...
Wait for him to announce it on TV and then get out.
Yeah, there are 2 things. One is charting, another is just like stay on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What's the hype train?
And the hypes, yeah. But in the end,
just time it right.
Yeah, but in the end, I feel my brain has died. Just spending so much time on Twitter.
Do you still do it now?
No, it's a full-time job. I couldn't.
Well, you completely stopped?
Yes, because after that I started a real job and
right.
part-time.
But just on the part-time, like do you still invest?
I do. Yeah,
you must still hold equities in crypto.
Oh yes, I hold them.
But just not a full-time trader.
I cannot do that.
No.
I try to swing trade a little bit a few months ago, but it's difficult because I have many other stuff going on.
Yeah, of
course. Sometimes I just forget, and that's not a good thing. You need to be really on.
Yeah, it's quite hard to just pick it up and put it down, right? It's very consuming.
What swing trade mean?
A swing trade? Oh, like so day trading is happening within a day, a few seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, swing trade would be like 3 days, 5 days a week,
Right.
you would be like, not expecting things to shift that quickly.
Right.
I would set, I buying this and I will like set a price, like I will sell at this price. And
Yeah.
based on the chart, I'm reading all the the trend, I'm predicting.
Yeah.
Very uneducated myself. So then, I'll set a selling price like that. Hope the trade will.
What's the best trade you've ever done?
Best trade? Also during COVID, some just made some good guesses on the meme stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, GameStop shorting. It was
GameStop. Oh, you're part of that.
Yeah, I did a bit shorting, but it was really nerve wracking. I don't think I can.
You're
do
part
it
of the
ever
Wall
again.
Street Bets community.
Like a little bit. It's hard. Yeah.
You don't have to give out your username.
What's been the best wine you've bought? Not necessarily from an investment perspective, but just like what do you think is the best
But
wine?
before you answer that question,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
if you don't mind me
Yeah.
jumping in, obviously you went from that into wine.
Mm-hmm.
So wine came after that.
Yes.
Did that influence when you were buying or analysing what wines to buy, did that influence you at all? Or did you still, because obviously you came from this, trying
Yes.
wine in Australia,
Uh-huh.
went to Burgundy, fell in love, very kind of emotional, heart-driven decision making. Then you've, day trading, very rational, head, charts, numbers. You've then come into wine as, actually, I feel like buying wine is an investment. How did that play out? Like, how did those experience influence your decision making?
Now I can separate them because when I trade other stuff, it's so much adrenaline.
Right.
With wine, obviously, you don't get that. They move. I don't think they move that much. I know in the past, maybe 3-4 years, they moved a bit more.
But yeah, they're not moving on a daily volatile basis in a way that
it's nothing like that. You don't get adrenaline.
Yeah.
You're swing trading, but over like 5 years, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. With wine, I still look at charts every now and then. I ask my seller manager to give me the screenshot of LiveX.
Yeah.
But I don't have access to it. It's not like
it's on CultX for free, the charts.
Oh yeah, okay,
So
great.
next time you want to
Yes.
look, it's on there.
With wine, it's just difficult because to me, it's very easy to attach all sorts of different feelings to the wine you bought.
But let's say, your seller manager or someone in wine comes to you and says, I've got this really good investment opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're coming to someone, obviously, that is knowledgeable financially, is knowledgeable from a trading perspective, knows financial markets. I expect they would have to present it to you in a different way. They might present it to a different type of customer.
I ask more questions.
Yeah. Because I think it'd be interesting for the listeners and viewers of this. Like what would be on your checklist of questions when evaluating whether you should buy a wine or not?
I will, of course, I ask about the, I would look it up myself about the vintage.
Yeah.
How good or
Vintage
how bad.
quality, yeah.
Yeah, how good or how bad it is.
Number one stop. So if it's like a Northern Italian wine, for like a Barolo, you go, right, was 2016 a good vintage or was 2010 a good vintage? That's your kind of first stop.
Yeah, I definitely ask for the chart to look at the trend. I'll do a bit of my own research.
So what, historical price trend of that? What if it's like a new wine? What if it's only been around for like a year and it hasn't got any price trend? Maybe look at other vintages of that wine.
Yeah, I do ask for advice. So, okay, what questions I typically ask is like, okay, if I'm buying this for investment, if I want to sell this wine, when do you think I can sell it? And how much gain do you think I can get?
But no one knows the answer to that, right?
Oh, they'll make up something for me.
So what they make up gives you confidence?
No, not really. No. Depends on in the end how
But like let's say it was a stock or a share or a crypto, you'd be able to independently look at a chart and see every time it trades, every day, every week, every month.
Mm-hmm. But
with wine, would you not just do the same thing and just look at all the transactions of that wine and make your own mind up?
Okay, in the past I couldn't, but for wine,
you can on LiveX as well. But yeah,
I don't have access.
No, and then auctions.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason we created CultX, because people couldn't see it. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's just like another rabbit hole for me. I'll get addicted. But for wine,
you just wait until we bring out charting tools.
Yeah.
I mean, we're drawing lines on graphs.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
but,
I'll be doing that.
But those sort of questions. So what else? So vintage quality, how historically how the price of wines performed.
Mm-hmm.
You said obviously emotionally, if it's a Burgundy or a Champagne, you might just think, oh, hang on a sec, I like that wine anyway, so I'm happy to hold it.
Yeah. Yeah. So now when I look at some of my investment, I think the Champagne and Burgundy, I'll probably just drink them because the market has been a little bit flat.
Yeah.
So I sometimes mentally I prepare
Would you be
myself
more
for
or
the
less
worst.
likely to drink it if it had doubled in value?
Oh, if we double the value, I need to think.
Yeah.
I'll think about it when it
But
happens.
would you see that as like you've got it for half the price and therefore you drink it for good value? Or would you see it as I should use the profits to resell and then rebuy alternatives?
It depends. It's hard to say what's going to happen in the future. But and also we don't need to pay capital gain tax, right? Yeah, so probably sell. Yeah, it's hard to say.
The extra percentage points.
If you could pick any wine from your portfolio to drink tomorrow, what would you choose?
Oh,
is there anything in there that you'd be like that? If I to Jonathan's point, regardless of how much it goes up and down in price, if I was to drink one of them, that's the one.
Champagne.
Which one?
Oh, the Dom Perignon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any particular vintage?
Oh, I think I only bought one. Was it 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good vintage.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. Needs a bit more time though. Needs a bit more time.
How much longer?
Look, I mean, a lot of these Dom Perignons are released. Dom Perignon's obviously released with at least 8 years of aging, so they're theoretically available to drink. But having tasted older vintages of Dom Perignon when it gets to like 96, 90 into the 80s, they've just become like a completely different beast, which is phenomenal. So I think the 2012 for me is going back.
Given how much you loved white Burgundy as well, I think you'd really appreciate some older, older,
like when
really
they get a little
good
bit
older
mature.
champagne.
Yeah, the bubbles dissipate a little bit.
But I think all the wines I bought, they have a lot of aging potential. So then it will be difficult to choose.
Yeah. You're buying a lot of young wines.
Well, it depends on what's available. Because I don't think I have had access to really, really old wines. I get the ones recommended by my cellar manager.
Yeah.
I think they are. I would say they are relatively young. Nothing really old.
Yeah. Best wine you've ever had?
I think the one I could remember, again, not talking about Burgundy, maybe. Sorry, I wouldn't say it's the best wine I had.
Most memorable?
Yes, most memorable.
Go on, most memorable. There are a lot of people go for the most memorable, don't they? When you ask.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think it's down to what you can remember.
Is it the first white you had in Burgundy that time?
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you the producer.
Okay, fine, go on.
Something else was that when I just started, that's right after I finished my WSET 2, and I started going to those tasting events. In Melbourne, there is an event called Tasting Champagne.
Right.
I think that's actually the biggest champagne tasting event in the world. We can fact check that later, but yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that's the problem about podcasts is that people can fact check you online.
It stays online forever.
Yeah, if you get something wrong, they'll let you know.
But that's written on their Instagram page, so like I do not take accountability for that.
If anything, you're quoting them. So
yeah, I'm quoting,
if you've got a problem, take it up with them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm quoting them.
Yeah.
They have about, I think, 90 champagne houses, like over 250 cuvées at the event. So yeah, obviously I went there. I was drinking the whole night, and towards the end, everything tasted the same. It's limited skill level, tasting skill level. But I just, oh my gosh,
that was the most memorable event for you.
But at the end, I did remember one champagne. That was Paul Roger.
Yeah, Paul Roger.
Yeah, Blanc de Blanc.
Yeah.
So that's I think. It's
so
special.
Even amongst everything that was tasting the same, that stood out.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's just down to because simply that was the only thing I remembered. Yeah. Memories don't lie.
There you go. Yeah. Well, Winston would have shared the same opinion, I'm sure. Is it time for the game?
Could be.
Could be time for a game.
Could be time for
liven things up. So think the viewer listeners think Kiss, Marry, Kill if you're American, or snog, marry, avoid. But we're going to play drink, save, or trade. So drink now, save in your cellar, or trade to fund something else. Tom, are you going to present this?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah,
So
you're going to take it in
almost
turns.
Ran away with it there.
We're going to take it in turns. Yeah, I was going to say, hang on, don't look at the answers. Yeah, we'll take it in turns. Right, Jonathan, come on. We haven't heard enough from you, so let's get you under the spotlight. So drink now, save in your cellar, or trade to fund something else. Okay, let's go for a difficult one. We'll go pure Burgundy.
Mhm.
Comte Ligier Belair, Domaine de la Romandie Conti, or Domaine Loire. Which one are you trading to fund something else? Which one are you drinking now? Which one are you saving in your cellar?
That is really tough. I mean, I think they're all kind of for their own reasons.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah, no, I know that. Just trying to buy myself a bit more time.
Talk us through the thought process. I think the thought process is as good as the answer.
The thought process for me would be that obviously there is, factors around Domaine Loire, which makes me feel like her wines will become more ethereal over time as she eventually
from a qualitative or investment perspective.
From both. That's why. Because
the way this is written, it makes me feel like drink now. You should prioritize the one you get the most enjoyment out of. This is how I'd be thinking about it.
Yeah.
Saving your cellar feels like the one you think is going to go up the most in value.
Yes.
Right.
But that's where I've been.
But you're probably not that bothered about drinking, and then trade to fund something else is more. Not because it's going to give you a good return, more just because...
I would argue that that's like three. They're very difficult.
Well, how are you thinking about those three answers?
I'm thinking that, as I was saying, that Loire, I think, will most likely go up the most in value, is my opinion.
But taste the best or not?
But probably also taste the best, which is why it's very difficult not to drink it now. But in that regard, I was probably going to then drink DRC now.
Yeah.
Because I
feel
like
Ligier getting... chucked to the wayside.
It's getting traded because it's done very well.
Right, okay.
So it would potentially fund another bottle of Loire.
Right.
And then I can drink that now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fine,
no,
okay. So what's the official answer is drink DRC now.
Drink DRC now, yeah.
Domaine Loire for the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trading out of Comte Ligier Belair.
Yeah.
And that's the invite for Ligier Belair out the window for you. So good. I'll pick that up. That's fine. What did you think of that answer, Han? Were you happy with that? Do you agree? Disagree?
Oh, I'm surprised. I didn't know Loire is gonna do well. Are there any things that are tips?
Hot tip, yeah.
Hot tip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the La Lubise Loire is approaching the end of her tenure and her life, really. So, so when she eventually stops making the wines, they're they're obviously going to become that much more harder to access. I mean, they're already impossible to access anyway, but we saw the same with the late Henri Jaillet. So I just think her wines, I mean, clearly they have, I mean, we've been fortunate to have a number of them and they're just incredible experience. I mean, they are just ridiculous. Whereas having had a few DRCs, they're obviously very, very good as well. You're right in the very top of the market, but I do think there's an element more uniqueness to the Loire wines, which is what I think long term will just hold them in that category of like, when there's no more produced by her hand, then it's going to be even more sought after. It's like you always want what you can't have, and I think that's the most true statement with Loire. So
okay, I'm gonna message you next time when I get some recommendations.
There you go. Yeah, I'll send you some charts over from CultX.
That too.
Yeah.
Right, you're in the hot seat now, Han.
Something simple.
Okay, let's start simple. Okay, you've talked about this a lot, so I think I'm gonna go in this direction. Mm-hmm. So you've got to drink now, save in your cellar, or trade for something else, and we'll go with categories. Okay, so prosecco, English sparkling wine, English wine sparkling, or champagne.
Well, the only thing I can drink is probably champagne. So I'll do something for the others.
You don't like English sparkling wine?
I mean, it's happening, but it got some.
Have you tried any?
It takes time. Yeah, I tried many.
And what do you think?
I mean, they are.
Speak the truth. Don't be afraid.
I think there are a lot of hypes around it.
Okay. Have you had a good one?
I don't think I've tried many, but there are just nothing memorable to me. Yeah, maybe I haven't tried the best one.
Okay.
I just simply think
And that's your invitation to any English
everything
vineyards out the window.
Gisborne's
So you're
Everything.
born from Leisure Blair. You're born from
things.
English
Things
vineyards.
take time. It's not something you just catch up overnight.
No,
Yes.
but they got.
I think
good
you touched on
potential.
a point which is interesting. I think with
What about
with,
prosecco?
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay, so which
If
one
you
get-
want it, I'll give it to you.
no,
for
no,
free.
so you're gonna kill two.
Oh yeah.
Two are dead.
Oh
and
no. English sparkling. I'll trade.
You'll trade English sparkling.
Yeah, I'll trade that with you.
So you're saving the prosecco in your cellar.
Oh, it's not kill. Oh.
So one you
no.
got to drink, one you got to save.
I'll save English sparkling.
Okay,
Given the
'cause
hype.
in the future it
yeah.
could get better.
I think so. The price
Okay,
will go
yeah,
up. Champagne has had its time. It has boomed, right?
Oh right, okay. So
Yeah.
you'll sell champagne.
No, I'll drink champagne
Okay.
and English sparkling. Given the hype and looks like your vote of confidence, I think the price will go up. So I plan to sell it to you in 10 years time.
Right, and prosecco's gone. I thought that might be the case. Okay, let's go for a slightly tougher one. What about Super Tuscan,
Mm-hmm.
Napa Cab, loads of wines you don't like, and Bordeaux?
I will drink Napa Cab.
You're going to drink Napa Cab,
Yeah.
and what about Bordeaux and Super Tuscan?
Super Tuscan, it's possible to trade. Bordeaux has crashed, no?
Which you got to keep one in your cellar, and you got to trade one.
I think Bordeaux might have a comeback.
comeback season.
So
Yeah.
what? Bordeaux in the cellar,
Yes, wait until
Drink
it,
Napa
when
Cab.
until it comes back.
and trade Super
Yeah.
Tuscans whilst
Well-
they're hot.
When I say keep it in the cellar, does it mean like I'll trade that in the future? No.
I'd do that.
Yeah.
That's probably the
Yeah.
answer as well.
There you go. Good. Fine.
Mm.
Do you want one more?
Why not?
Yes.
Something slightly more, yeah,
More difficult.
yeah, more difficult. Why not?
Meursault.
Mhm.
Patrice. Screaming Eagle.
Screaming Eagle, I would trade now. Meursault, I would drink. Patrice, I would hold.
Sorry. What are you trading?
Trading Screaming Eagle.
Trading Screaming Eagle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
Do you think because there is too much hype or what?
Yeah, we won't get into it. I don't want to ruin my invitation to Screaming
Oh,
Eagle.
okay.
One pod and you've literally been disinvited.
I don't want to ruin my invite to the box at Arsenal with Wonky Cronky. I just think, similar point really. I think Screaming Eagles had a bit of a run, very indifferent around whether it's really a price that's settled in any market. I think Patrice is just one of the greats and will always keep rolling on. Really short supply. You can always lean on that to be one that I think will just carry itself well. And then Meursault, I mean, it's just a fantastic wine to drink. So I'd just love to drink more of it. I mean, I've had a couple of vintages and it's been a great experience.
Yeah, fair. We're happy with that. Good answers.
Merlot. I do like Merlot.
Yeah. I think that's enough of the game. But Han, have you got questions for us? Because I know you came in loaded. You were like, you said you didn't want this to be a one-sided interview. You were like,
Turning the tables.
you're going to turn the tables and put the pressure on us.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
No more tips though. Giving away my big
I was
secret
gonna ask
to
for
main
trading
Loire.
tips. Okay. So, first question: if I don't think about this is your job, just or take investment out of the question.
Yeah.
What region are you most curious about that you have not been?
Jura? Yeah. I haven't been, but I've tried some great wines from Jura. Some wines that I really, really like. Auvenoy and Gavinat, obviously, that come to mind, but a number of other, top producers like Labbe. And I think it's a really interesting area. One, the proximity to Burgundy, the great varietals, but also the winemaking techniques and approach. I also feel like, having spoken to vignerons in Burgundy recently, because of like land prices and vineyard prices, a lot of up and coming producers or up and coming winemakers or young winemakers are either getting pushed out to kind of the northern or southern satellites in Burgundy. So even like in like the Côte de Dijon, you're seeing some wines being produced there by Marc Soyard that are really good. But that's obviously not Jura, but you're actually also seeing some of these winemakers go into Jura and vinifying and making wines because they recognize that, the vine age, the terroir, and obviously now I think with climate change, Jura maybe going back 20 or 30 years was only really known for Vin de Jaune, obviously the oxidative style of white wine. But actually I now think because of the global climate change and obviously the increase in the temperature and the climate, you are getting much more ripeness, but you're still getting kind of that freshness and the minerality that you get from that particular terroir. So Domaine d'Angeville is a good example. They set up their own winery there called Domaine de Pélican, again, which is making great wines from Savagnin as well as Chardonnay. So for me, I think it's a really interesting and exciting area. One, because they do have a great history and unique style of making wine. Obviously, they do have a couple of iconic producers that, are really highly sought after. There's a Japanese winemaker, Domaine de Miroir, as well. I mean, some of his bottles trade for over £1,000. But, Auvenoy and Ganavat were obviously, really popular. So if you look at it as a region, it's got a lot of the... what's the word? It's got all the characteristics really of being somewhere that could be the next big thing in terms of, good vine age, good terroir, historical winemaking, a couple of iconic producers and climatic change, which is improving the style and ripeness of the wines. So for me, I've been enjoying those wines. I know other people have been really enjoying those wines. And I think as prices for white Burgundy that you mentioned, like in places like Meursault, Montrachet, continue to climb exponentially, you made a really, really good point. And I think this is something we touched upon a couple of pods ago, right? Which is when it comes to white wine, like fine wine in the white wine category, there isn't a huge amount out there, really. You've got white Burgundy, which obviously, they make more white than they make red, but, it's not a huge category. Then outside of there, where are you going around the world to find kind of really top tier white varietals? And there isn't anywhere near the level you get in red. So I do think, in places like Jura, where you can get, Chardonnay and Savagnin made in a way that I think, at least gives you access to high quality, fine wines made in the same style, I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting for the consumer. So it's a region I'd love to visit. I'd love to meet some of the winemakers there. And I don't know what you feel like in terms of your experiences, but every time I've gone to a region, it completely changes my concept of that region. Like, you can taste the wines for a number of years. You can have an idea in your head what it's all about, but then you visit it for the first time. You meet the people, you see the landscape, you see the, the contours of, whether it's hilly or whether it's flat, whether it's in a valley, or you can look at, oh, hang on a sec, I understand why that particular vineyard makes like more fresher acidity driven wines versus this side, which is always a bit riper, because you can visually see like where the sun is, and you can visually see how the perspective lies. And I think that is, worth its weight in gold. Like every time we go to a region, it's the people, the community, the culture, the food they eat and drink, they eat locally, and the topography. And those things combined completely transform your feeling and understanding about a region. So that's why I really want to go to Jura, because I'd really love to have that opportunity to, have that experience. And the region I've had it most recently with was when I went to the Meursault, which was only last December, the first time I ever visited the Meursault region. And again, trying dry Rieslings and some of the semi-dry and the sweet wines from Marcus Molitor and Don Hoff and Igor Müller, but being like by these vineyards in the Meursault where it's like almost vertical vineyards that are like almost cut out of the rock. And then you're tasting like Ardena Prélat, which is like a Grand Cru in the Meursault. And you're tasting this wine and you can taste like the minerality. You can almost feel that kind of like flinty, rocky, granite-like texture and yeah, almost like minerality in the wine, but then coated with this ripe fruit. But then you're looking out the window, you're driving past it, and you're looking at it going like, oh, I can't even believe they vinify wines there. It's beyond belief. There's even like a vineyard that they've managed to find this little nook and cranny on like a little bit of land that's like in this really steep location. And so I think that was a really great experience for me, because I've come back with a completely new appreciation for Riesling. And so I want to kind of repeat that with Jura.
That was very kind of you to answer for me as well. By the way. I was literally going to say anything.
I thought you were gonna say something a bit more under the radar, not from the major wine producing countries.
Georgia, Moldova. Oh, you thought I was going to say something?
Yeah, because I was thinking, if you don't think about all this good, it's not just for the best wine or for investment. Where would you go? The quirky countries.
Good question. Oh, I know. I would go to Canary Islands.
Yes.
Yeah, Tenerife.
Why is that?
Again, I've tried some the white wine that's made there, Eminate, I think it's called. Really amazing, like really, really great wine. I heard that there's some really good vineyards in that particular area with people doing some really interesting stuff. So yeah, okay, I suppose that's technically Spain, but it's a little bit more off the beaten track.
Yeah.
Take that.
We're accepting that one.
My obvious answer would be after Riesling was taken in Germany, I'd love to do Australia after not just what you said, but I think
that's a major region. Go again.
Major region, but that was my obvious answer just because, again, I haven't been there, and everything that Tom said about when you do get to go to these places, you really get to visualize and be there and understand more about what those are. We've had great wines, and we're lucky that, the UK do distribute Australian wines plentifully, but
actually, we had someone come on to message us around Tasmanian wines. Have you tried many Tasmanian?
I think
you're
so.
An expert on Australian wine now. You can't let the side down.
Yeah, I definitely had.
Have you been to Tasmania?
Yes.
Apparently, yeah. So we heard that. I actually don't have a lot of experience with Tasmanian wine.
No, nor do I.
I think Tasmania reminds me more. It feels more like New Zealand than Australia.
Right,
but it's
rural,
very close to.
Yeah.
In terms of the climate, it's closer to New Zealand. Could be wrong.
Where would you go in Australia? Which region? Which particular vineyards? Any particular wines you'd like to visit?
I think the Barossa Valley, obviously a good place to start, isn't it? I mean, I just think there's just so many brands that I'm familiar with for lots of reasons, but just to actually get there and really, get amongst it with Peter Gago and
yeah. I think
and beyond that though, mainly really, it's more so that we're very, Penfolds obviously has a great, brand presence in the UK, but like there's so much more to explore, right? And like there's so many, like when I do speak to clients that are a bit more au fait with Australian wines, and
there's a couple of Pinots that I absolutely love from Australia by far, which is an absolutely superb Pinot, which I'm sure you've had as well, and Bass Phillip, of course, which is now vinified by Jean-Marie Fourier, which are both in Geelong, I believe.
Geelong?
Yeah.
Okay, I bought a house there.
Oh, you do? Okay. You're close. Right. Have
you can stay. You go there.
Have you tried either of those wines?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Bass Phillip's amazing. Like if you like red Burgundy, then Bass Phillip's kind of, it has like the signature style of the approach of Burgundian wine, Pinots, but obviously with the Australian heritage. But yeah, really
Next
good
time
wine.
I go back, I'm gonna go there.
Yeah. Bass Phillip and by far my two recommendations. There's another really good one as well. Joshua Cooper. Unbelievable. Joshua Cooper Pinot.
Okay.
Very good.
Do you have their contact details?
Yeah, I'll share them with you post. But yeah, they're my top 3 Pinot recommendations from Australia.
I think maybe just a final question to throw back to you, Han, which I think is one that you've pretty much just thrown us, but we're going to throw it back to you. So what, aside of your plans to go, did you say Bulgaria next year?
Oh, Tunisia,
sorry. So
aside of the answer,
aside of that, where are you most excited to try out next? And aside of obviously Tom's recommendations,
give me more tips. Are there anything in Medellin, in Colombia?
In Colombia?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, after the wines were so good in Tulum.
Yeah, do you not know?
I don't know what.
Okay, great.
Colombia, no.
Caught him.
No, I think you want to go a little bit more further south to get some good wines. There. The
Yeah.
Andes Mountains should be fruitful.
Okay, I'm actually going there in January, so if I find anything, I'm going to come back and tell you.
Right. Yeah. And where are you visiting when you go to Colombia? People want travel tips as well.
I'm going to Medellin.
Medellin.
Is
that what it's called?
I think it's Medellin. Wait.
That's our version.
Should I call my Colombian friend?
Someone let us know in the comments.
They will do. Where else? You're just staying there or traveling around?
Working remotely for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Then after that, Tunisia and also Vietnam. Other good wines there.
Nice.
I book my trip for different reasons. Then after I book my trip, I try to find information about wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's anything interesting for me to visit.
Where did you grow up before Australia?
China.
Whereabouts?
I also moved around in many different cities. A bit like a nomadic life.
We didn't ask you about anything around sort of the wine culture in China and how you see.
Yeah, we drink red wine with.
No, I know, but I mean, obviously, there's a lot that's been talked around. Sort of, obviously, the market exploded. It's retraced a bit. I don't necessarily see it. I don't think it reflects the underlying interest and demand and expertise there is in mainland China. We do a lot of events there, and I've been traveling there for a long time. But just interesting to hear your perspective. Yeah, we got an office in Shanghai. We do events all over China, and I've been fortunate to. Spend a lot of time in China, especially around wine. So I kind of appreciate the fact that, you hear a lot of people say, oh yeah, people in China drink wine with Coke. And I'm like, I don't think you've ever experienced that. I've been going to China for 15 years. And I've never seen that. So I don't know who you're hanging out with.
Yeah, exactly. Depends on who you hang out with.
Yeah.
So when I grew up as a teen, really, really young teen, we started drinking early as well. If you go to a karaoke box,
Yeah.
At a young age, yes, you do that. So I can tell you, yes.
In the KTVs?
Mm-hmm.
In the KTVs?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's a common thing. It comes with a package.
Right, okay, it's a package still.
It is. But of course, if you go there in a more, after you enter your adulthood, become more sophisticated, go to Hong Kong, you wouldn't. You appreciate good stuff.
Yeah.
So that was the equivalent of vodka Red Bulls back in the day, basically.
How do you do you go back to China often, wine related? Have you been to any Chinese vineyards? I mean, there's some really good wines being made out of China.
No, I moved out early, so I often feel I don't know enough about the wine thing in China. Actually, on my Instagram, I do see there are other people in the trade. They go to China, go to all sorts of events. I'm curious about it.
Yeah. Well, maybe that should be on your list to check out some of the vineyards. Well, I mean, of everything I'm hearing, I've tasted a few. Quality's going up. They're getting more highly regarded, getting good awards. So it'd be interesting to see how that evolves. I think it's good for the Chinese market. I think to have really good, high quality Chinese wine will be good for domestic.
But that's a difficult thing for people who are not in the trade. There are many different awards.
Yeah.
I could, you and I could set up an award tomorrow and giving out awards.
And who would we give an award
People
to?
don't know. So yes, I know Chinese wine. They're doing great. I've heard things, but I don't really know if they're good.
Yeah, well, you're suggesting the Tulum Wine Awards.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, that's
this Mexican Chardonnay won 5 stars at the Tulum Wine Awards.
Yeah, it's a great money-making business, selling awards.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hot tip.
Thanks for listening again. Well done. You got through the 7th episode. And if you're still with us, we really appreciate you. As you know, as my request is and how I finish all of these podcasts, we would love for you to subscribe. We'd love for you to like Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast streaming platform is that we're available on. YouTube, of course. Any of those platforms, subscribe. But more importantly, we'd love to hear your feedback. So please do comment, whether it's on our social media posts, whether it's actually on the YouTube videos, whether it's on Spotify. Please rate us as well. That'd be great. Even if you don't think it's very good, we'll appreciate your honest feedback and try and improve in the future. But all in all, we are excited to do these podcasts every week. So thanks very much for joining us. Thank you, Jay, for being back on the sofa. You were obviously absent last time due to illness, and we had a couple of people step in.
Did the heart grow fonder? Or?
Sorry?
Did the heart grow fonder while I was away? Or?
Yeah, it's like, coming back to something So,
Stop flirting on camera. I'm still silly.
Thanks ever so much for joining us as well. It was really, really great. And I think it was really nice to bring more connectivity into the audience. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you too.